Today's film is a novel found footage movie set in space as I cover Apollo 18 from 2011, directed by Gonzalo Lopez Gallego, starring Warren Christie, Lloyd Owen and Ryan Robbins. Decades-old found footage from NASA's abandoned Apollo 18 mission, where 2 American astronauts were sent on a secret expedition, reveals the reason the US has never returned to the moon. Apollo 18 is the most atypical of found footage horror movies, with possibly the most unique setup in the entire subgenre. Correct me if I'm wrong, but I am completely unaware of any found footage movie set in space other than Apollo 18. It is not just a gimmick either. The natural claustrophobia of an outer space setting is represented excellently in this film, as the atmosphere indeed is the film's strongest element, as you would expect. While this wouldn't be a surprise to most people, is the reputation the found footage film has cultivated as being the most lo-fi and low-feel subreddit of the entire horror genre, and Apollo 18 does nothing to defy these expectations. Despite Apollo 18 being funded by the Weinsteins, which on a side note is the most frightening thing about this picture, the whole thing feels very cheap and slow and unconvincing. I can't be fucked to research whether it could have been possible for space shuttles in the 1970s to have onboard cameras running constantly, but still the footage feels edited and altered and does not feel raw enough to gain that total immersion that is the subgenre's main draw. Some characterization also feels forced, and the whole secret Russian cosmonaut launch is absolutely ludicrous and will, for most people, not just astronomers, take them out of the picture. With no gore, sexy people, and only cheap jump scares to get the blood going, Apollo 18 needed to get these small details right in order to overcome the wooden acting, cliched alien infection plot, and the truly punishing pace of it all. But it didn't, and that's why no one remembers this fucking picture. In conclusion, Apollo 18 is an exemplary example of the found footage cycle fading out of the mainstream, succumbing to the old school style scares of the supernatural subgenre. I guess people had enough with reality and decided believing in ghosts again was much more exciting, and if this film is anything to go by, I for one do not blame them. If you are a space enthusiast, you'll get frustrated by the inaccuracies. If you are a casual horror fan, you will be bored shitless. Apollo 18 is recommended only to hardcore found footage fans who could be sold on its relatively unique premise alone, because trust me, there is nothing else here to talk about. Thanks for your time. Please remember to like, comment and subscribe. Tomorrow's film is the early 2000s shot on video slasher Camp Blood 2.